Breaking news! Things have been buzzing behind the scenes, with the Detroit Lions already being linked to a number of players, and that's been generating a lot of buzz around the web, so be sure to hit that like button and comment below with your thoughts on what you're looking forward to this offseason. Alright, let's get started! The Detroit Lions are already being linked to some big names in free agency, and one of the biggest is none other than 9-time Pro Bowler Khalil Mack. Yep, you heard that right, Khalil freaking Mack. According to Pro Football Focus, Detroit is being named as a dream scenario for the veteran pass rusher, and honestly, it makes a lot of sense. Let's break it all down: what Mack could bring to the Lions, how much it would cost to get him, and whether Detroit should actually pull the trigger on this move. Look, the Lions have built something special under Dan Campbell. This team has transformed from a rebuilding project to a legitimate Super Bowl contender, but there's still one major area that needs improvement: pass rush depth. Detroit finished 23rd in sacks last season with just 37, despite ranking 4th in pressures, 2nd in hurries and 3rd in QB knockdowns. What does that tell us? The Lions were getting after the quarterbacks, but they weren't finishing plays. Aiden Hutchinson desperately needs a running partner on the other side to help close the deal. Enter Khalil Mack. Mack may be 35 years old, but let's be real, this guy can still play. In 2024 with the Chargers, he racked up 39 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 6 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 22 QB pressures, and 9 pass deflections. And let's not forget, this is coming off back-to-back seasons with a 90-plus PFF grade. Mack is still a force, and even at this stage in his career, he could be exactly what the Lions need to elevate their defense. Imagine a front four of Hutchinson, Mack, Alan McNeil, and DJ Reader. That's a nightmare for any opposing quarterback. Now, here's where things get tricky. Spotrac estimates Mack's market value at $23.6 million per year. That's a lot of money for a guy who's turning 35. And while Mack is still productive, the Lions have to ask themselves, is this really the best way to spend their money? Detroit isn't just a one-year contender. This team has a wide championship window, and Brad Holmes has built this roster with smart, long-term moves. Do they want to break the bank for Mack, or do they look for a younger pass rusher in the draft or free agency? According to NFL.com, the Lions have the second-best Super Bowl window in the league, behind only the reigning champion Philadelphia Eagles. That's right, second best in the entire NFL, because this team is loaded with talent on both sides of the ball. The offense is intact outside of pending free agents Kevin Zeitler and Tim Patrick. The defense is getting healthier, with Hutchinson set to return and a full offseason to retool. Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes have built a winning culture that makes Detroit a destination for top free agents. NFL.com's Bucky Brooks put it perfectly: despite the losses of a pair of exceptional play callers, Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, the Lions should be squarely in the Super Bowl mix on the strength of a roster loaded with blue-chip playmakers. And here's the key: the Lions don't need to go all in on just one move. They have flexibility. They can add talent in free agency, but they can also build through the draft. Which brings us back to Mack. Here's my take: if Detroit can get Mack on a short-term, team-friendly deal, go for it. His experience, leadership, and ability to close out plays would be huge for this defense. But if it's going to take $20+ million per year to bring him in, I'd pass. The Lions have too many young stars that will need extensions in the next few years: Amon-Ra St. Brown, Penei Sewell, and eventually Hutchinson. Spending that much on an aging pass rusher could hurt Detroit long-term. Luckily, Brad Holmes is one of the best GMs in the league. He's built this team the right way, and whatever decision he makes, you better believe it will be a smart one. Alright, Lions fans, now it's your turn. Would you sign Khalil Mack? Would you pay the big money to bring him in, or do you think the Lions should go a different route? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear what you guys think. The Detroit Lions are making waves once again in the NFL rumor mill, and this time, it's all about Kupp. That's right, the Super Bowl MVP, Pro Bowl wide receiver, and former Jared Goff favorite could be on the move, and the Lions have suddenly become one of the top contenders to land him. Now, let's break this down: what's going on with Kupp, why Detroit makes sense as a landing spot, and whether or not the Lions should actually pull the trigger on bringing him in. Earlier this month, Kupp shocked the NFL world by announcing that he is likely to be traded this offseason. While the Rams haven't officially confirmed it, multiple reports suggest that Los Angeles is exploring all options, including potentially cutting him if they can't find a suitable trade partner. Kupp isn't quite the same dominant receiver he was when he won the Triple Crown in 2021, leading the league in receptions, yards, and touchdowns, but injuries have slowed him down over the last couple of seasons, limiting his production. But make no mistake, he's still a dangerous weapon when healthy, and that's exactly why teams are lining up to see if they can land him. If there's one team that immediately makes sense for Kupp, it's the Detroit Lions, and there are a few key reasons why. First, GM Brad Holmes was part of the Rams front office when they drafted Kupp in 2017, so he knows exactly what Kupp brings to the table. Second, Jared Goff and Kupp had insane chemistry together in Los Angeles, connecting for over 3,500 yards and 24 touchdowns from 2017 to 2020. If Detroit brought Kupp in, the instant chemistry between him and Goff would be a massive advantage. And third, the Lions' offense is already stacked with Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, and Sam Laporta, but adding Kupp would give them another elite route runner and a reliable red zone target. Here's where things get really interesting. The betting odds for the Lions landing Kupp have surged over the past week. According to DraftKings Sportsbook, the Denver Broncos are currently the favorite to land Kupp at plus 450, but Detroit isn't far behind at plus 550, moving up from plus 800 just a week ago. Other teams in the mix include the Commanders, Patriots, Chiefs, Steelers, and Bills, all with odds better than 10-1. So should the Lions make the move? There are pros and cons. On the plus side, Kupp already has great chemistry with Goff, is a reliable playmaker, and brings veteran leadership to a young team. But there are also risks. His injury history is concerning, his contract is expensive, and the Lions may have bigger priorities on defense. If the Rams cut Kupp and he becomes a free agent, the Lions should absolutely make an offer, but trading for him is a tougher call. Giving up valuable draft capital or taking on a massive contract might not be the smartest move when this team is already one of the best in the NFC. Now it's your turn. Should the Lions go all in on Cooper Kupp? Would you trade for him, or would you rather wait and see if he gets cut? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And before you go, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. The offseason is just getting started, and we've got plenty more to break down. Let's go, Lions!